fun last time. So I'm just going to get straight into it. This is going to be so fun again. But we're going to be talking today about your unique talents that are going to get you paid to be you. Because these are usually the talents you'll find, your unique skills, your unique personality even, something that you might even realise is a talent, but it actually is. Those are the things that make you you. Those are the things that make you a different person to everyone else. Let's just push this back a little bit. Those are the things that make you different from everyone else. Those are the things that are going to make you magnetic to some people and absolutely repelled to other people. Because obviously we don't want to be that vanilla person where like everyone likes them but no one loves them, no one hates them, no one loves them, but like everyone kind of likes them. That's the person that we've been taught to be though. That's the person that we've been taught to be, to please everyone, to be a vanilla person, when what we want to be is different from everyone, loved by some people and hated by others. And that's okay. You can have the courage to be disliked, and that's an ever-changing thing. Like even I'm trying to, work on being disliked, for example, but your unique skills, your unique personality, your unique views on the world, they are the things that are going to make you different, and they're the things that are going to make you magnetic. Those are the things that are going to get you paid to be you. You think about the influencers, the YouTubers, the TV stars, they get paid to be them. If they weren't them in their first place, no one would have realised and thought, oh wow, I really like this character, let's take them on. Or like the actor, for example. If they weren't them in their audition, they wouldn't have been casted for other roles because they weren't them in the first place. They were pretending to be someone else. It's always the things as well. You will find it a lot of the time, not always, okay? A lot of the time it's the thing that you were told not to do as a child, or the thing that you were told was too much, or the thing that you were told you can't make a career out of. It's always something like that, right? Like think about manifestation, for example. I don't talk about manifestation to anyone. Even to this day, no one even knows about inner work really. Like it's so niche. No one really knows about shadow work. They don't even know what it is. No, a lot of people don't even know what manifestation is. And yet here I am creating a career out of it. These things that you can talk about all day, do all day, these are the things that are going to get you to literally get paid to exist, to be you naturally and authentically. So if you're showing up online being someone that you think people will like, or you create a video because you think it will go viral, that's all in your masculine head energy, right? That's not coming from your heart. It's not coming from an authentic place either, because it's something that you think is going to be good and you're people pleasing by doing that. That's not your authentic, natural, magnetic energy. The natural magnetic version of you is the version of you that has likely been suppressed in some area of your life when you were a child, teenager, or even recently, because you've been felt bad, because you've been made to feel bad about showing that side of you. So, number one for this is going to be something that you were good at as a child. So I'm going to go over a few points here. Something that you were good at as a child. And I'm going to take questions after this first point as well. So if any of you guys that are watching want to ask anything about this subject, go ahead. I'll answer questions after each point. So number one is something you were good at as a child. So think back to when you was a child and you was in school. I always got told for talking. All the time. I was the chatterbox. I was the one that always got distracted or talked to everyone else and made them distracted. Now, I've got a career around talking to the camera, because there's someone that will listen about the thing that I like to talk about. So therefore, there's something that you really like, that you would talk about all day long. Think about when you first meet someone and you instantly click. What subject is it over? What thing would you instantly love in someone if they said they were into it too? That is something that you could talk about. It's not always a talent, like it's not always something that people would deem as a talent, shall we say. So again, going back to my channel, for example, I couldn't put on my CV I was born with like natural knowledge of manifestation or wisdom, like, oh, I'm a wise person. That's not going to get me a job anywhere. So it doesn't have to be conventional talents. It can just be your personality, your unique gifts, let's say that. So say, for example, you were always sewing as a child, or creating things, stitching, painting, or maybe you were always drawing handbags, or you're always doodling over your book. There's so many things that you can do with design and creating stuff like that. So many things you can do with your career, teaching other people how to do it. You know, there's so many things on Etsy even, or coaching other people how to do the thing that you have done in your life. Think about something that you've done in your life that you know a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do, or wouldn't have known how to do. Or people that, like, even things that people come to you and they're like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you teach me how to do this? That is usually something, again, that you were good at as a child, or even still now. So say, for example, you always spoke about outer space. Super niche, right? You always spoke about the universe, planets, energy, or even quantum physics, right? Again, not something that you would think, oh, this is a talent of mine. Unless you went to uni and got a degree, then you could say it's a talent. Or, you know, the society kind of works around, if you haven't got it on paper, it's not official. But we know that in our own business, we don't need that paper. And we don't go off traditional talents. We go off unique personality, unique light, our unique skills. So you knowing so much about space, you could do anything with just knowing about it, talking about it, teaching it, whatever you want, right? It doesn't have to be conventional teaching. Like this, what I'm doing now is not conventional teaching, right? You could say, for instance, I know a lot of you guys, even myself, was like, again, another example is always videoing stuff. If you were like me, I was always videoing and taking pictures. I was born around the time that they were starting to get like really good cameras. And I remember looking online every Christmas for an even better megapixel camera than the one I had. Even though I realise now that megapixels don't really matter that much. But I remember being like, oh, this one's 20 megapixels, over 15 megapixels. And it was like, I really wanted to take pictures and video everything. So I knew that that was automatically something I was interested in. And today I've created multiple businesses around creating videos, posting them on social media, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that aren't that good at creating videos because they have different skills. So that's already something that's different to someone else. And something that you think is such a basic skill, like for instance me taking pictures or videos, I might be like, anyone can do that, but you will find that's the thing that you're the best at, you're most passionate about, and the thing that is most likely going to get you to be paid to be you, or you create a business out of being that version of you. You will find that that's the thing, right? The thing that you brush off, you're like, it's no big deal, anyone can do this. No, that's you downplaying yourself. That's your ego downplaying itself because it doesn't want to get hurt. Because if it goes, yeah, I'm really, really good at this thing, I'm amazing at this thing, like I'm going to create a career out of it, you put yourself out there and then someone says that you're bad at it, or they don't like the product you've created, automatically your ego is going to get hurt. It's going to be like a stab in the heart. Like, oh my God, I've put myself out there. I've revealed this really specific skill that I have. And so your ego just downplays it, right? It doesn't want to get hurt. It's kind of like when someone compliments you for your outfit, or they say you're pretty and you're like, no, you're prettier. Like, oh no, it's fine. Like you're bouncing the energy off them instead of receiving it. Which again is some whole different shadow work we can get into here. Realizing that our ego runs the show though is like the basic level shadow work that we can do, and not being able to receive in terms of compliments is a really good way of noticing that you can't receive manifestations even, because you have this like energetic wall blocked off you, that if you can't even receive a compliment from someone saying that you're really pretty or beautiful or handsome, then it shows that if you can't even receive someone's words, how are you going to receive an amazing manifestation or change in your life, right? So automatically we can start to realize the shadows and the energy blocks that we have that way. But anyways, going back to the subjects, all of these things, vlogging, talking about out of space, doodling, drawing things, fashion design, all of those things that we might get taught you can't make a career out of, or it's really hard to have a career in that subject, those are the things that you actually are going to be able to do it. Because guess what? People say that you can't create a career out of it or a business out of it because they've never seen anyone do it. And if they've never seen anyone do it, it means that there is no one doing it. So you're going to be different. You're going to be that person that makes it happen, right? So it's not always a bad thing. And then number 2 is it triggers you when you see someone else doing it. So this is a little bit of shadow work here. This might be something you've suppressed now, because we're going to go on about the suppressed part. Something you were good at as a child is like the light work part, the thing that you're really good at. Now I'm going to talk about the shadow work part of it. So the triggers, the underlying shadows that you're hiding behind you without realizing it. Your ego, again, is hiding it behind you. And therefore, the shadow only comes out when it's called out. I.e., when someone else is doing it, you get triggered by it. You get some sort of emotional reaction out of it. This could be positive, but a lot of the time you'll find it's actually negative. So, for example, you might be like, you see someone showing up online, doing the thing that you want to do, like a YouTuber, maybe they're talking about manifestation, for example, and this person's like super confident, almost in your face, and you're like, I just don't like it, like the energy, there's just something about them. You hear that all the time, don't you? There's something about this person that I just don't like, or they're too much, but you can't put your finger on it because you don't know. It's a subconscious shadow that's appearing. And I've heard this many of times, and there's some people that genuinely know that there's something about the person that's bad because it's coming from their instincts, versus the person that says there's something about that person I don't like, and it's actually coming from their ego, their shadows, their brain. They're trying to protect themselves. So it's like, is it your shadow or is it your instinct? And a lot of the time, it will be them doing something that you want to do. So if, for instance, say for example, I got triggered by someone being confident online and like showing up and being too much, it would then probably be showing me where I actually know that I need to be more confident in myself, and I want to be more confident in myself. And so that person showing up as that person is then triggering me and making me feel discomfortable because it's reminding me about what I don't have or what I can't do. And our brain is like, nope, don't want this. I'm going to blank it out because it's making me feel bad. It's not making me feel good. It's impacting my ego. So that is something to look out for. Another example is if you see an Instagram influencer and you want to be an Instagram influencer, or a business owner, a coach, and you see someone online and they're like, yeah, I make $100,000 a month. Or they've got loads of followers and they're actively talking about their day-to-day life. And you're like, how do they think people care about this? Why would someone care about their life? Like, it could be these little inclinations, even though you're not a bad person and you don't actually be horrible to anyone on a day-to-day life, but your brain thinks these things. You might not realize it because, again, you push it off. Like, it instantly comes to your mind and you just, like, push it away almost. And then you start scrolling and you're like, whatever, I'm just going to forget this. And then if someone was to bring it up later on, like, oh, what was that face about that you pulled earlier on? And you'd be like, what face? I didn't do anything. And they're like, yeah. Your face was like disgusted almost. If you're like me, my emotions are always on my face. Like, whatever I'm looking at online, if it's like a really interesting, intricate video, I'll be like really frowning, like focusing on the video. And my partner Aaron, he's always like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, oh sorry, I'm just focusing. And he's like, oh, you looked angry. But it's like your emotions will be on your face and you won't even realise it. It's like, that is the shadow. You don't realise it's even there. You don't even realise it's showing up. It's like other people often reveal it to you. Other people often have to give you that training or that mirror, like, look at yourself. And then you're like, whoa, that's me, really? Like I said the other day about how I was making breakfast all my life, spilling sugar everywhere, and someone would always say to me, you're spilling sugar everywhere all over the side. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm a clean person. How? That's not possible. Like, I clean up after myself. And they're like, no, literally, look at all the sugar granules you've left on my side. And I'm like, whoa, are you sure that was me? Like, no one made cereal after me? Like, no, it was me. But I didn't associate with that identity. I was disassociating to protect my ego. I didn't want to be the messy person that doesn't clean up after themselves, right? So now I'm aware of that. I can choose differently, and when I'm making the cereal, I can make sure that I've not left anything on the side. But if you're not aware of the shadow, you can't bring it to the light and choose differently, right? So another example is maybe if you are out and about or you're shopping and you see someone walking through the streets or in the shopping centre and they're really well dressed and they're really pretty and they're all glammed up, and maybe you feel discomfortable by that because you're like, oh, it makes me feel a little bit bad because I'm not that pretty. And this is what social media does to a lot of people. They make them feel like bad about themselves because they don't look a certain way. But what you should be doing behind the scenes is appreciating how different you are and how good you look, because other people, like, they don't look like you. So, like, you should be embracing your unique light in this situation. But if you get triggered in any sort of way, you notice your energy lowers or you feel bad and you kind of, you know, you hunch over a bit, you're like, you know, that kind of feeling that you've had sometimes. And that's also showing you where your insecurities lie. You need to give yourself a bit more self-love. And again, the confidence, the repressed confidence inside of you. Because maybe you came up confident sometime as a child and someone said you are too confident or you're cocky or you're arrogant or any of these things, and then immediately you stopped showing up to the world and you repressed that part of you that showed up confident because it's no longer safe. It's better to be humbled than it is to appear confident. And so you've repressed that part of you. And all of it takes is for you to start listening to these thoughts and emotions, your energy, when it does change and you react instead of respond to a situation with neutrality. All it needs is for you to recognise that, for you to then start doing the shadow work around confidence and the light work around being more confident. So when you see someone else doing that, sorry, I think I went off the subject a little bit there, but the thing that you will get paid to do, relating back to the video, is the thing that you get triggered by in someone else. Maybe it's them being a YouTuber or them being an influencer, them being a coach, them getting paid to talk about the subject that you like, that you would love to get paid by. Those are all the things that you need to be looking out for. I noticed that I wanted to start dressing better and looking better when I saw people in the streets looking super glammed up. And I realised I want to create a career around being me, wearing jewellery, wearing my lipstick, wearing my makeup, doing my nails. And it sounded so silly, but this was one of the first things that I noticed that made me realise I didn't want to be a nurse. When I spent 3 years training to be a nurse, working in hospitals, I craved the glamour, the pretty, classic, elegant kind of lifestyle, the like truly feminine lifestyle, by being a nurse, because I was always dressed in scrubs with my hair up, nobody wore makeup to work. I couldn't have nail polish on. I couldn't have nails longer than the ends of my fingers, whereas now look at those nails. I've grew them so long now. And as soon as I realised that, obviously I didn't quit just off that, but it was one of the things that made me realise who I am and the part of me that was being suppressed by taking on this nursing job role that I thought was good for society and that I thought I needed and I thought was going to pay me, all in your mind, all analytical, and I never ever ever gave myself the chance to drop into my heart and think, what do I want to do? What does my heart want to do? What are the things that I like? What am I good at? And that first inclination of, I just want to dress up, look nice, do my hair, do my makeup, that's how I want to show up to the world in career and in personal life. And as soon as I realised that, that was when I went down the rabbit hole of like realising what I wanted to do. And I quit that job and I worked as an estate agent on minimum wage. So I'd studied for 3 years, got myself in debt to be a nurse, realised I didn't want to do it anymore because I wanted bigger things in life. And then I worked as an estate agent, and immediately, oh my gosh, I got my nails done, I did my hair every day, straightened the hair every day, curled it on the ends, started doing my makeup, and I bought so many nice outfits to make me look super professional. And even in the first couple of weeks, a couple of the girls in the office were like, where do you get your clothes from? Because literally, like, your style is so cool. And I was like, thank you, it's been repressed and now I'm literally letting it all out. And I genuinely used to dress really nice for that job as well, and I still do dress nice, but that was the most appropriate occasion. Now I just go to like Asda and I'll dress nice for like shopping or something, right? So that listening to all these things will make you realize what you want to do, and being triggered by other people that are doing that is a really good way of showing you where you want to be and who you want to become. Again, another good thing is to realize, ask yourself, who do I want to become before what do I want? If I was to ask myself what I wanted when I was at uni studying to be a nurse, I would have said I want to be a nurse. If I'd have asked myself who did I want to become, I would say this version of me now, the version of me that gets to dress up and appear as I want, and going off that basis, if I'd have known who I wanted to become, what I wanted to look like and show up to the world, I'd have got to the bottom of who I wanted to become and what I wanted, therefore what I wanted, so much sooner. Because when I ask myself, what do you want, you think to your analytical side, what's going to keep me safe, secure, what's going to keep me accepted, right? Whereas your heart will want things that are going to make you unsafe. It's going to need you to show up to the world as a business owner, as a coach. You're going to need to be seen, and you're going to need to do the work, the inner work, to realise what things are dragging you down and what things that you already have that are going to cause you to be excelled in life. What things you're repressing that are actually going to get you paid more than everyone else. What's actually going to make you unique than everyone else, right? This is the things that you need to actually think about. Who do I want to become? That comes from your heart, rather than what do I want or what should I want, right? So then number 3, how to realise your talents, your suppressed talents that are going to get you paid to be you. Number 3 is it pops up often and you get embarrassed by it and you push it back down. So here's how to recognise it if it's coming up and you're pushing it back down. So again, just going off those last examples, right? If you get triggered in any sort of way, feeling bad, feeling guilty, or even feeling happy, like openly saying, oh, I wish I could do that. Look at this girl, she's doing exactly what I want to do. When you react in these ways and these emotions come up, you will find that a lot of the time you kind of brush it off and you move on. Oh, this girl's so amazing, look what she's doing. Oh, I wish I could do that. Carry on scrolling, right? You push it back down without even realising it. You don't get out the pen and paper and you start thinking, how can I become this girl? What does she have that I want? How can I do this in my life? And then you start coming out of a plan. You don't do that, do you? You just go, whatever. Because that's your shadow speaking again. It's like, push it back down, keep us safe. We don't want to appear like this to the world. We don't want to, like, dysregulate our nervous system too much. We don't want to get hurt. push it back down, continue with what you were doing, and the shadow wins again. So an example of if it comes up is maybe when you're drunk. What do you do when you're drunk? You go and talk to everyone, you go and sing, you go and dance, like no one's watching. You start talking about outer space with random strangers in a pub. You start complimenting everyone. Oh my god, you're so amazing, you're so pretty, you know, like the girls in the bathrooms and stuff. This is more likely your unique side, right? This is the side of you that is like most authentic, that doesn't come out when you haven't had a drink. This is the confident side of you that you've been wanting to come out. Like when you look at the other people and they're super confident, showing up to the world, it comes out then, but it gets suppressed back down. But when you've had a drink, it dims that part of your brain that's associated with social norms and social interactions, and it dims it down. So your analytical part that's like thinking about how you should behave in social situations is gone. You just appear how you want to appear. And when everyone else is also appearing how they want to appear, it's like just this whole bundle of like authenticity. People are just chatting rubbish, but they're doing it because they want to do it, and other people are listening because they're all on the same vibe together. Don't get me wrong, obviously drinking alcohol is a way of hiding our true self, because a lot of people will drink to repress the feelings of unworthiness, undeservingness, and then when they drink it makes them feel better and it numbs the pain for a while. So that's the shadow work behind, obviously, if you find yourself drinking on social occasions a lot, then it's probably because you're trying to escape your current reality or hide the version of you and, you know, tap into that version of you that is really, really confident and happy and everything. But what do you do when you're drunk, right? Do you start singing? Do you start chatting about a certain subject? Do you start, you know, becoming a comedian? Do you start talking to everyone in the streets as if you're trying to sell them something? Oh, what's this business idea? Like, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't this be such a cool product? You know what I mean? Like, what do you talk about? Another example is maybe something that you only do around your friends and family because you don't think you're that good at it. And you only do it around friends and family out of fear of judgment. So maybe like your super close friends. Again, I can only really think of people that like sing and dance. You know, people that are really good at singing, they usually only sing around like their family members or their close friends, and then you see that person that finally posts the video online. Something like that you do. Again, that's a very basic example. There's obviously really intricate things, like for example manifestation, right? I only talk about manifestation to Aaron. I've never spoke a word of it to any of my family members or friends until I created this YouTube channel, which I think is great, because maybe you could start creating a YouTube channel around the subject that you want, and then if you find yourself constantly pouring the words out, and it's like for me it was like as soon as I started I couldn't stop. I constantly had video ideas. When I first created my channel, I'd upload every day, every other day, because I constantly just had this like word vomit. I was like, oh my god, this feels so good to finally talk about this subject. Everyone's interested, everyone's asking questions. Maybe just try and create a YouTube channel. Not even to try and make it successful, just for the literal pure joy of talking about it. That's how to know if you enjoy it or not. If you like doing that, then there you go. You've done it authentically without thinking about views, without thinking about what people think. You've just let it all out, right? Or maybe you create 2 YouTube channels or 3 YouTube channels, doing whatever you want to do. But if it's something you like talking about or something that you like teaching, then YouTube's great for that. So is the other social media platforms. TikTok, short videos, brilliant for realizing what you actually like doing and what you want to do. So thinking about those things then, something that you only do about your family members, you only do around your close friends, etc, etc, right? That is likely the thing that's gonna get you paid to exist. Along with number 2, it triggers you when someone else is doing it, and number 1, something that you were good at as a child. Name me one thing in the comments what you were good at as a child and you stopped doing because someone said something about it, or someone said it was too much. What's one thing that you stopped doing? Because for me it was being talkative. As soon as I got told off for being talkative, or people stopped listening to me because I was talking for so long, I stopped talking. And then in high school, I became someone that had a very close-knit circle of friends, and I wouldn't talk anyone's head off if I just met them. Like, I'd have to actually click with them. And I feel like this is how a lot of us go, right? We're so out there as kids, and then we get to high school and we're like, yeah, I'm now shy, and I have a close-knit circle of friends, and we all kind of, that's our shadows taking over then. Like, that's the world teaching us how we should be, and that's the part of us that gets repressed. And then when we're older, it further gets exacerbated because the world starts telling us what we should do as a career. And when the world starts telling us what we should do as a career, it further pushes down that unique, magnetic, authentic part of ourselves that wants to do what it wants to do, because the ego is constantly pushing it down because it's not safe to be that version of us anymore. We need to do this. Like, I needed to do my nursing. I thought I wanted to do my nursing, but I didn't. And the more I told myself that, the more I repressed the version of me that wanted to be the version of me that is here today. Even at uni, when I was at university, I started creating videos about fashion on YouTube in 2018. I was at uni in 2018 creating like Primark hauls and fashion lookbooks. And it's like, if I'd have listened to that and not gave up that YouTube channel, because it didn't really get anywhere after a year, right? I didn't even get like 1,000 subscribers after a year. But if I'd have carried on down that YouTube rabbit hole of realising what subject was really in, like, for me, because it clearly wasn't fashion. Like, I wasn't that big on it. I just wanted it to do well so I could like not go and be a nurse. But I was in it for the wrong reasons, but I really liked YouTube. If I'd have carried on following that curiosity, I would have realised that I wanted to do what I'm doing today, but 5-6 years ago, right? So that's why we need to be following what we love in our heart rather than our head, because we'll always come back to our heart, or we never come back to the heart and we genuinely end up like sad. We don't want to end up sad at the ends of our lives. So that concludes the video. To go over the 3 points that I mentioned, the things that you are most likely to be paid for, to be you, to get paid to exist, to create a business out of. Number 1 is usually something that you were good at as a child. Number 2 is something that triggers you when you see someone else doing it. And number 3, it pops up every so often and you get a bit embarrassed and you push it back down again. So I hope that video helped you. The Passive Princess package is being discontinued because I have a new product coming where I can help lots of you instead of one at a time. It's going to be a course. I'm so excited. It's going to be like a really big course, so I might actually split it into 2. Not actually sure yet. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be about shadow work, inner work, manifestation, the inner work around manifestation and achieving your dream life, everything. Yes, of course you can ask a question. If you guys have any questions, just ask them now before I end the live stream. I love asking your questions though. But yeah, it's going to be a amazing training, and I feel like it's going to help so many more people like all at once, rather than me working one-on-one with you guys through the Passive Princess package. So I think I'm going to discontinue the Passive Princess package in the next few days so that I then have the time to start creating the course. But it's going to be coming soon. I don't know how soon, but it's going to be really exciting. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just pop them down below before I go. I'm going to see if I can bring up the live stream on my laptop so I can make sure that I am not ignoring anyone, but I really don't know how to work YouTube yet. What would you do if you was completely lost and had to start from zero? Had to pull up videos and go through the cycle of making content and deleting it. Hold on. Do you want to create YouTube? Is that what you were saying, Violet? If you had to start from zero. Because your comment's just gone away and I can't bring it up on the laptop. If I had to start from zero, is that like starting from zero as in like in terms of success, starting a business from zero, or realising what you want to do from zero? So if you keep posting videos and deleting them, is it because you realise that you don't like that subject? Or is it because you kind of don't know who you are yet? I'm trying to find that comment that you literally just put, but yeah, I don't know where it's gone. So I'm just going to start answering the question. If you want to elaborate on it, then that's fine. If I wanted to start from zero in terms of, realising what your authenticity from zero. Okay, so that would be definitely in, and this is something that I'm going to put in the new course I'm creating, is the light work. So as well as the shadow work to realise your blocks, but your light work to realise your unique skills, your unique personality, exactly how to kind of do the inner work to realise who you are authentically. So obviously it's quite an in-depth subject, but authentically, I would also go off the points that I've mentioned in this live, the parts of you that have been suppressed. So looking at your triggers, what you get triggered by on a day-to-day basis. So, for example, obviously, if you see other people doing things in your life and you get triggered by it in some way, positive or negative, just some sort of emotional reaction, that is probably showing you something that you're repressing that's authentically part of you. So for example, a way that I realised that I wanted to do manifestation was, not only was I watching people on YouTube and I was like, whoa, I'd love to do that, but I also asked myself, who do I want to become rather than what I want? When you ask yourself, who do I want to become, over what I want, you find yourself answering that question a lot easier. You can imagine who you want to become a little bit easier than imagining what you want for the rest of your life, right? Like someone says to you, where do I want to be in 10 years time? You're like, I don't know. But if you said to yourself, who do I want to become in 10 years time? You can probably answer it a lot easier. So I'd probably start with that question and journal on it. I'd recommend getting out a journal and thinking, who do I want to become? And then start journaling on what that person looks like. What does the dream version of me look like? And then that is how you're going to realise the authentic version of you and start kind of going into it. But like I said, there's probably a lot of ways that you can start, a lot of ways that you can do the light work to actually start realising who you are authentically. And again, I'm going to pop that in the course when it's created later on, because it's like, yeah, we can go into so much detail there. But I hope that helped anyways. I'm gonna go now, so I hope you liked the video. If you have any other questions though, just put them in the comments, because this is going to be posted as a video in a second. And I hope you all had a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I don't even know how to end this live stream actually. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. What? I was literally like, bye, and then I was like, wait, how? I'm not kidding, I don't know how to end the live stream. Oh my gosh, right, okay. Yeah, okay, I figured it out now. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. I was like, what? Okay, anyways, have a lovely day. Bye.